The night I watched my own parents unlock my front door on my security app, my stomach dropped so hard I thought I might throw up. Not knock, not call, just twist the key like they owned the place. My lights were off. I was out of town. And there they were, walking into my life like boundaries were a joke and privacy was something I didn't deserve. It hadn't started that way. When I moved into my first apartment, I was proud. Small place, thin walls, but it was mine. I paid the rent. I worked late shifts. I built a routine. My parents smiled and hugged me and insisted on helping me move. Somewhere between the boxes and the pizza, my mom quietly asked for a spare key, just in case. She said, I should have known better, but I handed it over like an idiot who still believed love meant trust. The first time they came in without asking, they laughed it off. We were in the area. The second time, they rearranged my kitchen because this makes more sense. Then came the comments about my groceries, my laundry, the way I lived. If I didn't answer my phone, they'd show up. If I worked late, they'd wait inside. Once, I walked in to find my dad sitting on my couch, watching TV, eating my food like it was his house, and I was just a guest who arrived late. I tried talking, calmly, then firmly, then desperately. My mom cried and said I was pushing them away. My dad got quiet, that dangerous quiet that meant guilt would follow. And it did. Every time I tried to set a boundary, they broke it harder. They let themselves in to check on me. They went through my mail. They commented on my bank statements they somehow found. I started feeling like I was renting a room in my parents' control center. The breaking point came on a random Tuesday. I was visiting a friend when my phone buzzed, motion alert. I opened the app and froze. There they were again. My mom opening drawers. My dad checking the bedroom. My private space picked apart like evidence. I watched them for 30 silent seconds, my hands shaking, and then something inside me snapped. Not anger. Clarity. I didn't confront them. I didn't argue. I didn't change the locks and brace for war. I did something quieter, smarter. I found a new apartment 2 weeks later. Different part of the city. Different building. Different life. I signed the lease, packed slowly, and told no one. I forwarded my mail. I updated my address everywhere except one place. Them, on my last night, I left the apartment spotless. No notes, no drama. I returned their spare key to the kitchen counter of a place that was no longer mine. Then I disappeared. For the first week, my phone was silent. I almost felt bad. Almost. Then the calls started. Missed calls, voicemails, texts that shifted from cheerful to confused to furious. Where are you? Why aren't you answering? We stopped by and your place is empty. My mom left a voicemail crying, saying she thought something terrible had happened. My dad accused me of being ungrateful. I didn't respond. 2 weeks later, they went back again. I know because the old landlord emailed me, asking if I knew 2 people who kept trying to access a unit that no longer belonged to me. Apparently, they'd argued at the door. Apparently, they'd embarrassed themselves. Apparently, for the first time, they were the ones locked out. When I finally called them, my voice was calm. I told them I'd moved, that I was safe, that I needed space. My mom started crying again. My dad demanded my address. I said no. I explained, slowly, clearly, that breaking into my apartment wasn't love, that ignoring my boundaries had consequences, that access to my life was no longer automatic. The silence on the other end was heavy, unfamiliar. They didn't apologize right away. They didn't suddenly change. But something shifted. Visits now require invitations. Keys are no longer demanded. My door stays locked, and for the first time, it feels like protection, not punishment. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I just moved on. And sometimes, the most powerful revenge isn't making someone hurt. It's making them finally feel what it's like to be shut out.